welcome to the virtual book launch for our folktales, All-Time Favourite Folktales of Asia. I am Shrishti Gaikwad, a teen reading ambassador from the National Library Board. The Teen Reading Ambassador program aims to spread the love of reading to the wider community, and I am honoured to be your MC for this evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight for the launch of our folktales, the All-Time Favourite Folktales of Asia, featuring stories from past countries of focus of the Asian Festival of Children's Content. To start off tonight's launch, please welcome Ms. Claire Chiang, Chairperson of the Singapore Book Council. Ms. Chiang, please.
Mr. Lim Boon Heng, Chairman, Temasek Holdings. Dr. Stephen Riyadi, Singapore Book Council Champion of Books. Country partners, invited speakers and guests, friends and supporters, good evening. Welcome to our 11th year of the Asian Festival of Children's Content and to the launch of our folktales, all-time favorite folktales of Asia. What started as a response for continued regional partnership now culminates into a special compilation of 8 all-time favorite folktales that reflect our commitment to champion quality children's content across the region. This book would not have come to print if not for the concerted efforts of the Singapore Book Council and the individual members and contributors, partners from our past AFCC countries of focus, as well as the entire SBC advisory network, who continue to bring quality children's literature and storytelling to every child in the region. I would like to say a special thank you to our editorial team, led by our ever-supportive board member, Mr. Chua Hong Kun, who provided their invaluable insights in shaping this book into fruition. A big thank you to Mr. Lim Boon Heng for encouraging SBC to take on this production, and to Dr. Stephen Riyadi for his strong support to SBC that motivated us to persevere in our mission despite very challenging times. We hope that this book will become the first of many future collaborations as we continue our efforts to build a treasure trove of Asian children's literature for all to enjoy. The future is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. During this new norm, we must stand together and face these challenging times headstrong. May we always remain optimistic for what lies ahead for the literary community and committed to our core values of resilience, hope, courage, and love. Our heartfelt gratitude to all of you who continue to support the AFCC over the past 11 years. We hope to see you all soon. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chiang. Now we would like to call on Dr. Stephen Riyadi, the Singapore Book Council's Champion of Books, for his message. Dr. Riyadi, please.
Mr. Lim Boon Heng, Chairman, Temasek Holdings, Ms. Claire Chiang, Chairperson, Singapore Book Council. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my honor to be invited to this book launch, organized as part of the AFCC 2020. I am thrilled to witness the launch of this remarkable project, which spans 8 Asian countries. It's enthralling us with the folktale that represent the heart of their culture. As the Singapore Book Council Champion of Books, I am so pleased to play a part in advocating and supporting SBC's efforts to promote children's literature as well as reading and literacy. Our Folktales book is unique not only because it showcases the most loved folktales across our region. More importantly, it also underlines the fact that we all have shared cultural narratives and stories that make Asia the most diverse and yet interconnected part of the world. Now, I would like to read a short excerpt from the stories Princess Camel, a folktale from Bengkulu. Princess Camel was an adventurous young warrior who loved to hunt, fish, and hike in the woods. One day, when she was hunting, she spotted a striped lake deer. She shot her arrow quickly but missed. Startled, the deer ran deep into the woods with Princess Camel chasing right behind it. Suddenly, the deer stopped under a camel tree. So, if you want to know what happened next to Princess Camel and the adventures she gets into, you would have to get a copy of the book. I invite all of you to keep sharing these stories that the younger generation of readers can embrace. In closing, I would like to congratulate all the contributors from partner countries, the authors and illustrators, as well as the editorial team in putting this wonderful book together. I wish you a very joyful reading experience and pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Riyadi. Now, joining us for tonight's book launch as our guest of honor is the chairperson of Temasek Holdings, Mr. Lim Boon Heng. Mr. Lim, please.
Good evening. As a child, I was fascinated by the folk tales told by my elders. Like our children, I like good stories, more so when they were told well. To children, they were stories, but subtly, these folk tales taught many things. It was only when I became an adult that I realized folk tales are part of the oral tradition common to all civilizations. It was a means of human communication where knowledge, art, ideas, and culture are passed from one generation to another. Folktales play an important role in transmitting values, filial piety, loyalty, respect, love, and sacrifice. Folktales model character, the importance of perseverance, hard work, never giving up when one is right. They inspire too, with tales of how the human spirit enables people to prevail against the odds. All children identify with heroes and heroines, so they imbibe the values and develop the character traits that help them succeed. Parents use folk tales to warn children of the dangerous world out there. For example, Native Americans, such as the Inuit, deterred children from wandering too close to the water's edge with stories about a sea monster carrying a pouch meant for children who get within its reach. I remember a story of a lioness standing on the top of a rock face, watching down on her cub making that difficult climb up to her. When the cub succeeded, the lioness nudged it off the rock, so the cub had to make the climb again. The moral of the story was, it's a difficult and dangerous world out there, so the sooner one develops the right skills and agility, the better one's chance of survival. Many English-educated Singaporeans will be familiar with the folk tales of Western civilizations. Through these, we subconsciously learned moral values, character, and the nature of the world. In Asia, there are many folk tales too. Oral tradition is as much a part of our lives in Asia as it is in the West. It makes sense to make Asian folk tales better known, especially among our children. As Asia develops, Asians will have to work closer and more frequently with one another. Therefore, a good understanding of each other's cultures is important. In a casual conversation not too long ago, I mentioned to Claire Chiang that it would be good to publish a book of some of the popular folk tales of Asia. True to character Claire worked fast, pooled her connections, and today, the Singapore Book Council is launching All-Time Favourite Folktales of Asia. Thank you, Claire, the authors, and the Singapore Book Council for this contribution to greater mutual understanding among Asian peoples. The future will rest on Asians being strongly grounded in values, developing the traits for survival in the cyber world. Or is it the cyber jungle? I hope there will be many good story spinners coming up with the next generation of folktales relevant to the new world in which our grandchildren are growing up in. Tales that will be told not only in the oral tradition, but also in multimedia. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Lim. We are pleased to share with you the featured folktales in our unique compilation of beloved stories from across AFCC's country partners, including China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, and Singapore. May we request Ms. Chang and Mr. Lim to please do the honors of launching our book trailer for our folktales.
3, 2, 1.
What a delightful set of stories for us to enjoy! We are truly excited to share this compilation with you, and we would like to thank its editorial team led by Miss Ruth Wan Lau and AFCC's country partners for sharing these folktales with us. Dr. Riyadi, thank you very much for your continued support of AFCC and the Singapore Book Council as our SBC Champion of Books. Now, it is time to check in with our country partners. Let's hear what they have to say about the book.
皆さんこんにちは。今日は AFCC が編集してくださるアジアの国々7カ国の昔話集の中から日本はこの一寸法師というお話を紹介していただきましたので少しお話をさせていただきますね。皆さんこの絵本はいつ頃のものだと思いますか？実は1929年、今から90年前の絵本なのですけれども、親指ほどの小さな男の子が自分の知恵と勇気とへこたれない心を持って人生を切り開いていく、そんなお話、きっと皆さんの国にも同じようにあるのではないでしょうか。この絵を描いたのは初山茂という1970年代まで活躍した画家ですけれども、絵をご覧いただくと絵本というのが100年近い歳月を経ても決して古びることのない魅力を持っているものであることを分かっていただけると思います。ぜひたくさんの方にこの初山茂の一寸法師読んでいただけると嬉しいなと思いますのでよろしくお願いします。
Hi everyone, congratulations AFCC for the launch of our folktales, the all-time favorite folktales of Asia. At Pratham Books, we are very excited that one of our titles, A Camel for Kalam, is featured in this anthology. A Camel for Caleb is based on the epic hero Babuji, a 14th century folk prince who travelled far and wide and had numerous adventures. The writer Anu Chaudhary Sorabji came up with the idea of retelling one of Babuji's adventures along with her longtime collaborator, folk artist Kalyan Joshi, who has illustrated the book. Kalyan Joshi is a 30th generation folk artist who practices fud painting, an art form that's slowly vanishing. All Babuji stories are painted in the fud style. In this story, Babuji travels to Persia to get a camel for his favorite niece Caleb. Along the way, he travels through the desert and the sea. We hope children will enjoy traveling along with Babuji.
Thank you very much. I'm an oral storyteller, and I was privileged to share this story from my Chinese cultural heritage, the Zodiac Story. And many people know it also as the Great Race. This version that I use for oral storytelling brings to life the different characters, the different animals, and which is so much we all know in the lunar calendar, the animals, and a lot of our Chinese ethnic people would know that each character, their birth character, will be attributed to an animal. So I'm very grateful that I'm part of this team and this cultural exchange. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Women characters in the folktale are usually seen as the weak and depending, and to be married to a rich prince. But not so in the case of folktales, Indonesian folktales. One of them is the Princess Kemang that I have retold, because this is give a strong model of independent princess. Therefore, this story is a relevant story for the current generation and future generation to learn about the equality of women and men. And regarding the compilation, I think I believe that sharing stories and through stories, people can add the value of humanity and also the enrich the culture, moral, and tradition of the tradition of the cultures of the world. So thank you, AFCC, for this publication, because you have done it. AFCC has done this beautiful collection to promote to promote the humanity, and I'm proud to be part of this. Thank you for all the editorial team. Thank you for Ms. Claire Chiang, and thank you for Mr. Choa Hong Kun, who has this idea. Thank you for everybody.
I'm so happy to be part of this wonderful project. I've seen through the book. It's delightful. And for Malaysia, we are very pleased to present the work of Amila Yusof, who is a leading children's book illustrator in Malaysia. And of course, the story of Putri Gunung Ledang is very familiar to all of us. And the Gunung Ledang is actually in Johor itself. I remember last year when I was in Frankfurt, and this year we can't go, when somebody asked me, why don't I, as a publisher, why don't I translate more books from ASEAN countries? And I said, well, for one thing, the folk tales are all a bit similar, which was greeted with much horror. And looking at this book, I do see there are similarities, but the delight in the different interpretation of the stories are wonderful. And I do hope there will be opportunity for me to translate this book into the Malay language. Maybe I will work with Pustaka Nasional. And thank you very much for this opportunity. And I hope this is not just a one-off, but there will be more books to come, because there are many more illustrators and writers to discover, many more stories from around our region to discover. Thank you.
Re from Myanmar. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for AFCC because we have been delayed a lot of things, but you are patient and working with us. And it is our very first time to join that kind of event and very first time to join with ASEAN languages. Actually, we have a lot of storybook with positive messages and originally produced in Burmese and translated to different other languages, but we have never dreamed before that our storybook could travel to ASEAN country. Because of you, we can share our story to not only our story but also our joint characters and our background history. How can I say? This story is about not only a story but also current situation of Myanmar, so that now we can represent to other country. So we are very happy to join this program. And besides, the authors are young authors, so he is very proud of be part of this project, and I'm very happy to join this. And as other people said, this is only our very first step, and we would like to continue other collaboration because we have a lot of rich culture and we have a lot of story to show our culture and tradition. Thank you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea from the Philippines. I'd like to tell you a little bit of the Philippine contribution to the book. The title of the story from the Philippines is called The Brother of the Three Marias. It tells the story of Pedro's journey to make amends for his father, Tiong, because Tiong had cut down a magical tree for profit, accidentally setting free a giant serpent. As punishment for his greed, he must give away his three daughters, Maria Upeng, Maria Loleng, and Maria Trining, to three powerful kings. Pedro journeys across different realms to find his sisters and reunite his family. The author is a famous author in the Philippines. His name is Severino Reyes, and he has written over 400 stories for children. He uses the pseudonym Lola Basha, which evokes the persona of a storytelling granny. Reyes' stories have been adapted for television, film, radio, and the stage. This featured story is retold by Christine Belen and illustrated by Francis Alcaraz, was chosen for its depiction of how Filipinos place great importance on family. Overseas Filipino workers, for example, travel far and wide to provide for their families back home. Like the Three Marias' decision to protect their father, as well as Pedro's long, arduous journey to reunite his family, the brother of the Three Marias speak of an unbreakable family bond Filipinos and all Asians alike value very much. Thank you very much, AFCC and the Singapore Book Council, for including the Philippines in this wonderful, important book.
Hello everyone, my name is Syed Ali. I'm representing the publishing house of Pustaka Nasional. This book that was selected, Badang, was originally written by Sang Nila Utama in the late 17th century. And it was retold by Sheikh Abdullah Basme, and I have the original book with me, which I want to show. So this is the original book from the series. It was published in 1963, and on the 50th anniversary, we republished the book, and we improved edited some of the text and made it into Hulu Balang Gaga. And we did a translation also, and renamed as Badang, and this was the basis for the extract that is found in our folktales. So the book is a very famous folktale in Singapore and Malaysia, since it's part of the Sejarah Melayu or the Malay Annals. And we're happy that it was selected as the representative of Singapore folktale. And we'd like to thank AFCC, I'd like to thank the Singapore Book Council and the publisher World Scientific for including our story in our folktale series. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope that you had an enjoyable time, and we appreciate your support of our continual efforts to celebrate and highlight the best of Asian children's literature. The book is available for purchase via the online AFCC Festival bookstore should you be interested in obtaining a copy. To find out more about the book and where to buy it, scan the QR code on your screens right now. Once again, I am Shrishti Gaikwad, a teen reading ambassador from the National Library Board. Stay safe and have a pleasant evening.